Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrivateDetroit.com. It's time for a new segment. It's called Jerry's Bold Predictions. For those of you that have heard my podcast, you know I make predictions. Sometimes the predictions are accurate, like me predicting Matthew Stafford's breakout season last year, saying the Lions will be a wild card team. And then sometimes the predictions aren't so accurate. We won't get into those. Well, we're bringing that segment over here to YouTube, SB Nation Private Detroit video. So without any further delay, here it is. It's Jerry's Bold Predictions. And this week, we're going to be focusing on the NFL Draft and a blockbuster trade that we're predicting will take place with the Detroit Lions.
Sometimes you gotta be bold. You just can't do what you are told. Sometimes you gotta make predictions, cause a lot of arguments and friction. Sometimes you make bold predictions for them to come true, that's what you're wishing. Yeah, that's what you're wishing.
In a shocking turn of events, the New England Patriots will receive defensive end Cliff Averill from the Detroit Lions. They will also get the 85th pick overall in the draft, a third rounder from the Lions. Detroit then will receive the 27th overall pick. That's a first rounder, the first rounder that the New England Patriots have out of two. And then in that swap of third rounders, they now get the 93rd overall pick. The Lions now have a big hole at defensive end, and they have two first rounders. Here are four of the potential draft prospects that the Lions will look at with their new draft scenario. Obviously, they'll have to upgrade at defensive end. I've got two guys that may be available either at the 23rd overall pick, the Lions' original draft spot, or at their new draft spot, the 27th pick. From Illinois, you have Whitney Merciless, a guy they've looked at, a guy that does a lot of things similar to Cliff Averill, being able to get after the ball. Then another guy that has Detroit connection, Nick Perry. He's from Detroit, played at Renaissance High. He's a defensive end from the USC Trojans, a guy that can play the run and the pass very well. Two more prospects to consider. You have center Peter Kans from Wisconsin, a guy that can start at right guard right off the bat and in a couple of years replace the aging and undersized Dominic Raiola at center. Now, the last one. This is a wild card. It's Janoris Jenkins. We know about the problems he's had, the marijuana issues that are springing forth every day, but he's overly talented. He feels a big need. If he can keep his head on right, he's a top 10 to 15 talent. When you've got two first-round picks, are you more willing to take a risk on a guy that, if you hit, will be an absolute jackpot at the cornerback position? Well, he is one of the four potential targets that I'm predicting will end up with the Lions once this bold prediction trade and draft scenario goes down. Now, I want to throw a caveat out there with this prediction. Cliff Averill, the New England Patriots, the exact picks. I mean, this is very specific. I want to say this much. If anything close to this happens, I will be tooting my own horn. Period. Point blank. I think the Lions and Cliff Averill are very far apart on the money. I think he wants more money than the Lions have. They have so much tied up to other players. In addition to that, a holdout seems to be possible, if not imminent. So I think he will be traded. If he does get traded, we'll have to replace his talent in the draft. So drafting a first-round pick of a Nick Perry or Whitney Merciless could take place. Also, you have to look at good trade partners for Cliff Averill. If you're going to trade him, you want a first-round pick or something close to it. Well, you look at a team that has several first-round picks, the New England Patriots. In addition, New England has a need for rushing linebackers, rushing defensive ends. They aren't great at getting after the quarterback. Cliff Averill fits the mold perfectly. Remember, he played linebacker at Purdue. He plays defensive end now. So I think he would really fit as a good 3-4 rushing linebacker / defensive end in the mode of your James Harrisons, in the mode of guys that do that. They can line up on the line, get after the quarterback, or they can also drop back to linebackers. So I think, if this doesn't happen exactly to the T, well, I wouldn't be surprised. But I am predicting a trade to happen. I think the Lions want to move back into the first round because they have several needs. Cliff Averill makes sense. The New England Patriots make sense. Now, Janoris Jenkins is interesting. So many things have been said about him. He may be available even in the second round. I don't know. But his talent is to the point where somebody may take a risk on him. Unfortunately, things keep coming out about him every single day, it seems like, to where his stock has dropped quite a bit. But those are 4 players I think the Lions have looked at. I know they've looked at, and they may target if they have even 1 pick in the draft, much less 2. So, guys, leave me your opinions. Give me some of your bold predictions. Do you agree with this one? Would you want this one to go down? What do you think may happen overall? And this week, we're going to be hitting it hard, like I said. More draft prospects, more draft talk. Leave your comments below, subscribe, like it, do all those good things. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. This has been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrideDetroit.com.